But yeah, what were we talking about? I totally forgot.
We're talking about games selling like crazy.
Yeah. Ultimate fastest selling Smash Brothers game. Can you believe that is going to surpass Brawl's lifetime sales within like the next couple months?
Yeah, it's
Okay, it looks like
Smash
we
Bros.
have
Ultimate
audio
is
now.
insane.
We have audio. Are we
God,
good?
that's so weird. For some reason, it just changed my settings to default instead of my microphone input and then my desktop output audio.
Well, for everyone that didn't hear anything we were saying for the past
We didn't say
20
anything
minutes,
important. It's okay.
we didn't nothing important at all. We were just talking about Nintendo's investors meeting and how fantastically well that they're doing right now.
And the Wii Shop is dead, so
And the
if
Wii
you're
Shop is
looking
dead
to
as well.
get some of those classic games, it's too late.
If you want to play Bomberman '94, well, I'm sorry, you're out of luck.
I gotta
You
say
want
though, one thing is if you've already purchased them, I believe it's still open for you to be able to download games that you've purchased in the past. So if you
Might
have
be
a
right.
bunch of Wii Virtual Console and WiiWare titles that you want to download, you've already purchased, you can throw those onto an SD card and still have access to them.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that was the death of the Wii Shop. We talked about that a little bit ago, but now Nintendo's investors meeting came out. They're doing crazy good, like real dang good. I was just saying, talking to Mike, that Ultimate is going to outsell Brawl in just maybe the next couple months or so.
Ridiculous.
Considering how well Brawl sold, and that was on the Wii, which is one of the highest selling consoles of all time. Like, what? How?
Yeah. Right now, their Ultimate is the fastest selling Smash game, like we were just talking about.
It's one of the fastest selling games ever. Like,
In general,
Yeah.
yeah.
in general.
And the top 4 best sellers on Switch right now are Mario Kart, Smash, Mario Odyssey, and Breath of the Wild in that order. It's just ridiculous that Smash is already the second best selling game on Switch, and it's been out for a month.
Do you guys? I believe that they put out. I believe that they put out a figure for how many Switch units they sold worldwide up to this point.
Yep.
Don't,
Yeah,
It was like
it's
32
32.27
Yeah.
million so
Yeah.
far.
which means pretty soon it's already surpassed the GameCube.
Yep.
It's
For the
about to
last time
surpass
check.
the Xbox One's lifetime
Yeah.
sales.
Yep.
Well,
It's at
Ridiculous.
41 million.
Mhm.
Is its
So-
lifetime? It's a 5-year-old console, and one of the big consoles on the Switch is about to surpass it. And
I would say probably the
less
next,
less than a year, it'll probably outsell
I would say so.
Xbox One.
Mhm.
probably 7 to 8
Especially-
months. I would give it.
especially with the new generation of Pokemon coming out in the
Oh my
fall.
And the
Gosh.
rumored new generation of Switch that will come with it.
Yeah.
Switch Mini. Yeah,
Yeah, the Switch Mini.
I didn't want
I
to talk
honestly
about those
think-
rumors because whatever.
Sure. That one's
all
that
they
one's a
are.
little difficult. Between
Whoops.
That's all right.
Animal Crossing and Pokemon, I think those two are going to astronomically raise the amount of Switches sold.
Oh yeah.
So it's nuts, absolutely nuts. Nintendo's doing great again, which is refreshing. I was telling Omar it's a great time to have a Nintendo podcast.
Yeah. And I was saying I'm glad I wasn't around during the Wii U era. So
Yeah, it's been difficult.
all right. So besides all that great news, there was another little tidbit. It was
Couple tidbits.
picked up from by Takashi Mochizuki, I believe is how his name is pronounced, from the Wall Street Journal, translating part of the investors meeting. Apparently, Nintendo is preparing one unannounced title for the Switch in fiscal year 19 that fans would be delighted to know, is the exact quote that he has, whatever that means.
What the heck does that mean? What are we supposed to glean from this?
I mentioned that on Power Up, and Anthony was like, "What?" It's probably like a lost in translation there, but
Yeah, exactly. Congratulations, guys! We're getting Wii Switch Sports
yeah,
for coming 2020.
Hey man, I would be perfectly okay with that.
That'd be all right. As a supplement, anyway, that'd be fine.
yeah. So what do you guys think, Ethan? What do you think this might be?
I don't know. What am I supposed to answer?
I think it's either another game of a major franchise that we got from our first year with the Switch, so another
Uh-huh.
Mario or another Zelda.
Top
Or
down
I
Zelda.
think it might be something like Star Fox It could.
Yeah.
I highly doubt this one, but going way out there, who knows? Maybe it's F-Zero. Fans would be ecstatic for that. It's true. It's unlikely, but I mean, most of their major franchises have already gotten a game on the Switch currently, or has one coming out in the next year or two. So
I
think
could
it'll
say
be another.
Yeah, another big one. Yeah, I mean, I could say it's Half-Life 4 for all I care, and that would be just about as accurate. Or
Switch exclusive.
Yes, that would be it. No, they're just skipping 3 entirely. Forget about that. We've bugged them long enough.
The way that this was announced, it makes it seem like it's actually going to be a first-party title. And I know you were joking about Half-Life 4, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Jeez. Actually, realistically, I think a top-down Zelda is probably a good bet.
Zelda was my number one guess.
Yeah.
And it's my number one. It's both.
I mentioned this on Power Up yesterday, but I kind of feel like it might be whatever Retro has been working on for the last 4 years.
That's a good point.
Because they have been working on something.
Because there was that tweet from a former Retro employee who, when Retro was given Metroid Prime 4, he was like, okay, so
so they still haven't released this game I was working on like 4 years ago, so that's cool.
So I want to get you guys' reaction on this. If they revealed that they were working on another Donkey Kong Country Day, would you be kind of disappointed or extremely excited?
I've never been into the Donkey Kong series, so
Great games.
I would have to see what
it'd probably be the one I get to get into the series. So like I'd get it and I'd play it, and it'd probably be what gets me to get the other ones. But
Tropical Freeze is
Zelda. So
Tropical Freeze, most recent one, is one of my favorite platformers of all time. So I would totally be okay with them making more Donkey Kong Country. Like they're really, really good at those games.
I'd be interested to see if they would make another 3D Donkey Kong game. And I'm saying it another, not because they made the last one, just because.
Well, I don't know. It seems like these days, I mean, the scope of the 2D platformer genre is kind of limited to indie titles. So it's so rare that we ever get a AAA platformer. Yeah, rare. I know. I realized that pun halfway through. But like, it's so rare that we ever get a AAA side-scrolling platformer, and when it is, it's usually a Mario. And I've kind of grown a bit fatigued of the new Super Mario Bros. Series of the past few years. So Donkey Kong Country is like this weird last standout of these highly, highly polished out side-scrolling platformers, and they're utterly fantastic. So, and I just said utterly. I don't know why. Anyway, I'd be fine with them making another Donkey Kong Country, but somehow I doubt it is.
Yeah,
I
think it's gonna be a top-down Zelda, or it might be the Majora's Mask to Breath of the Wild, where they pretty much use the same engine to pump out another Zelda game fairly quickly.
Yeah,
so
that's a good bet. Nintendo's kind of put Zelda into the hands of other developers in the past, so I could definitely see that.
Yeah, I think I can see it being like a cross between Legend of Zelda and Star Fox Racing.
Well, all right.
You gotta hit me with the Star Fox Racing again. That's 2 podcasts in a row, man. Stop hurting.
We'll see what happens though. Hopefully something good. They say it's something good, so I can really only trust them on that so far.
I've yet to get a first party title from them on the Switch that I was like, I don't like this.
And speaking of racing, we had some bad news from the investors meeting.
Nice segue.
Yeah, thank you. So Mario Kart Tour is going to be pushed back to summer instead of releasing in March, which is kind of weird because I thought I remembered hearing that it was coming in 2018 at some point, but
I kind of remember it like August or something.
Yeah, I had forgotten to this game until like maybe a month or 2 ago, and I was like, oh yeah, there's supposed to be a Mario Kart mobile game coming. So it's good to at least hear that they're going to be planning some kind of release window for it in summer. But the better news relating to mobile is that Dr. Mario World is coming, and there's not really any information about it, but
no, there's nothing.
It is a new Nintendo mobile game. So
I mean, this makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, mobile is kind of like the perfect platform for these style of puzzle drop games. What do you call? Okay, I've always wondered this. What do you call the Tetris, Luminous, Dr. Mario style of games? Because puzzle. But then you're referring to other things like Portal or I don't know, Zelda games
I just
to a
call it
degree.
Tetris.
Tetris
Like that's
like?
a Tetris game. Yeah, just Tetris like.
Okay,
Dark
I
Souls-esque.
prefer that.
Like.
Yeah. Okay, so Tetris-like games have fit really well on mobile in the past. Obviously,
Yeah.
Candy Crush Bejeweled.
Yeah.
Tetris on mobile is bad. I still play it.
Well, Candy Crush and Bejeweled, I'd say, is match 3. Would be the name for it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you kind of get into. You can have an entire conversation on this one.
That's not.
Point is,
yeah.
I was talking before the podcast. I've been playing a lot of Lumines on Switch recently.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying the heck out of that one. So I am totally down with more Tetris likes, especially on mobile, because that's just the touchscreen works really, really well for.
It's kind
those
of
games.
off on a tangent, but Luminous, does that work in the same way as Tetris, where you clear lines, or do you match colors?
So you're matching colors in Luminous. It's really hard to explain that game.
Sure.
It's very, very hard. Go get Luminous.
That's
It's
all
great.
right. That's all right. We can talk about Dr. Mario World instead. What do you think, Mike? What do you think it's gonna be? The gameplay is gonna be like just the regular kind of Dr. Mario gameplay?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be just a modern take on the classic Dr. Mario puzzle situations. But as I was telling you guys earlier, I have a prediction that I published with Culture of Gaming just the other day about Dr. Mario coming to the Switch, and I think that will be a more unique and original take on Dr. Mario gameplay for a more complex puzzler. Kind of not with the same gameplay as Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, obviously, but in the same complexity that it has and around the same price range. I think we'll see a Dr. Mario game come out like that.
Yeah. I was gonna say we already have it on the NES Online, but
No, I think a more interesting conversation concerning Dr. Mario World specifically is how they're going to monetize it. Because in the past, Nintendo has taken one of two approaches. You either have your traditional buy it once, you're set for life, which they only really did with Super Mario Run. But with all their other Zelda game or mobile games so far, they've done the traditional mobile model that works incredibly well for the platform. It's free to play. If you want to play more than 3 times a day, I don't know how it works, or you want a certain type of unit in the case of Fire Emblem Heroes, then you got your microtransactions that you can just spend infinitely on them. Dr. Mario World, I don't see that working well as a standalone. To be honest, I don't see that being like pay $15, you can just play this in your free time for life.
Yeah.
I would imagine that it's going to follow the second model. How would you make that work? You're gonna introduce some sort of currency in here? I'm not sure.
Probably in the same way that I've never played Candy Crush, but I'd have to imagine it would be similar to that model where
it might have
you just
like
buy
power-ups and lives and whatever.
Yeah, and that's the concerning thing about it, because if you tamper with the Dr. Mario model too much, which you kind of have to do if you're going to incorporate the microtransactions, then I just know how much more fun it's going to be. That's a little concerning, I guess. But
I gotta say, we gotta take a left turn here, because how do we know it's gonna be exactly like the original Dr. Mario gameplay?
We don't.
So they added the word "world" on the end there. So what if it's like Pokemon Go, but with Dr. Mario?
Oh gosh.
You gotta catch
Catch all the viruses.
Get all the
You
drugs.
gotta kill them all. Throw the pills. You gotta throw the pills at them.
I actually was thinking about a Switch title, Dr. Mario, like a 3D platformer would be kind of fun, where you're inside people's bodies fighting diseases.
Cool.
So it's like with the Mario Land for Mario Land 2, the Mario World. What do you call that? You know what I'm talking about? Did you guys ever play Super Mario Land 2, where you go inside of Mario's body at one point and?
I played the first one. That was a good game.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Throwing
I
around
only
rubber
played the first
balls.
one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, rubber balls. That's right.
But yeah, Dr. Mario World seems interesting, but we'll definitely need to get more information as time goes on, because we don't know anything yet. But Nintendo did something kind of neat recently with Smash Bros, where they revealed way more information than they normally do.
Yeah, this was interesting.
So there was the update 2.0 that came out, and they normally release patch notes that are just like, we made some changes, like they added multiplayer to the Spirit board. so you can battle with friends and try to capture those spirits with multiple people. I think up to 4 players can do that. It still maintains the difficulty because once one person on your team dies, then you fail the battle. So it's not like you can just throw 4 people in there so you can get extra lives. But the biggest change, though, to these patch notes is that instead of just saying various gameplay changes, they actually included this giant list of every character and everything that they changed to their specific moves, which is something that people have been asking for a long time.
It's a breath of fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Like, hey, we're gonna have to figure out what they changed in here.
Yeah.
To be fair,
What's different?
To be fair, this is kind of just pointing the dedicated community of, I don't know what you call those people who go in and they analyze the newest patches and figure out the exact frame data.
Analyzer.
Yeah, analyzers. That's right.
Sure.
This is kind of just pointing them in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
They would have figured it all out anyway, I guarantee it. But
yeah, it still doesn't give exact details like with the first one here, Mario's dash attack. It just says adjusted launch angle, which,
right.
I mean, you can at least you know what you're looking for then, like what you need to test to see what's different. So you're not just like, okay, let's try every single attack, see which damage percentage is different, see
That
how
does
they
sound like a
fly.
nightmare.
Yeah, when they get hit. Some of
So the people
Yeah.
people who do this consistently, and they do this every time that an update comes out, specifically for the competitive Smash Brothers community, this is definitely a step in the right direction for Nintendo.
Absolutely. Yep. One of the biggest changes here for one of the higher tier characters was Chrom, where his up special knocks you up into the air. It's kind of like Ike's up B, where the sword spins around and he jumps up to grab it. But the thing was, when you come down, that would spike the opponent. So what you could do is you would do that and it would kill them first, but with the change to this, it actually kills Chrom first. So you can't just like...
They've been doing that with a lot of characters in Smash Ultimate. I know in Smash 4, whenever you use Ganon's side B, off the ledge, he strangles them and then takes them downwards, and they would die first.
Yep.
They changed that with this.
Same with the Bowser side. Yep.
Bowser's okay now. Bowser's was difficult because in Smash 4, he always died first, and I don't think they actually changed that for this time around.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good change. I think it's as fun as it always was to go for the the cheapskate kill of, oh, okay, I'm just gonna drag you off the ledge. We both have 1 life left, but you're gonna die first. I always had fun with that. It is pretty cheap though, so I'm glad Nintendo's doing that. Going great lengths to change that.
One of the big things that I heard from just listening to and watching YouTube videos of all the pro players talking about the patch notes was just that it looks like all the not all the characters, but most of the characters got buffs and very few got nerfs.
Oh, that's cool.
Instead of like making characters weaker, they're just like, okay, let's just make everyone who's weak stronger. So to balance it that way. And I like that just because instead of pulling people down, you're kind of like lifting the weaker characters up, and you can it makes it just in general more fun for everyone.
More people are viable. That means more situations, more types of fights that you'll have.
Sure. Beyond the patch notes and obviously Piranha Plant coming in, did we talk about that yet? I don't think we've touched on Piranha Plant. He's a pretty cool character.
Piranha Plant, yep. Yeah, he was also added to the game with the 2.0 update.
I believe he's the only character that I can think of that has a side special that charges up. If you use his side special, it sprays out like a poisonous cloud. I can't think of anybody else. Yeah, where you have to...
There's Ike's side special, which charges, but like once you let go, then it releases. It's not like something you can hold in like Piranha Plants.
So it's been weird. It's in all, I'd say his moveset, his special moveset, is a little strange because you have your down special where you're charging up a thing that launches Piranha Plant's neck way out in the future. You got your neutral special, which launches a spike ball upwards and off to the left. He's a really goofy character. I will say that, and I like him a lot.
I gotta say, Kirby's skin when he sucks up Piranha Plant is so cute.
It's great. It's great.
It's just like he's inside of Piranha Plant's mouth,
Which is a little morbid, but so it's kind of reversed then. So Kirby swallows Piranha Plant, and then in order for Piranha Plant to swallow Kirby, it makes perfect sense to me. I don't know. See what the problem is. Outside of these patch notes and minor fixes and changes, and Piranha Plant being added for a 2.0 update, there really wasn't that much, which I was a little surprised about. I think we talked about it last week, how I was kind of predicting that, okay, they're going to have some sort of announcement video where they're going to talk about, okay, 2.0, we're adding some good stuff here. We're going to add some real changes. We're going to add entirely new mode, and we're going to reveal the next character. None of that happens. And considering something as big as, 2.0, it's supposed to be the biggest second version of Smash Bros. It was just kind of, like, here's a new character, here's some minor fixes. We'll tell you about the fixes, but that's it. And it surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, the biggest gameplay change that they really made was the addition of multiplayer to Spirits, which is this is interesting because I don't think I ever saw anything like that with Smash for Wii U, where they actually made adjustments to the way that certain game modes worked. So it's nice to see that not only that they have the ability to do that, but that they're willing to make changes if people want to play certain game modes a different way. It's just, like you were saying, not great as far as a 2.0 update, but it's at least optimistic for the future.
Real quick, before we move on, there is one thing kind of in relation to Piranha Plant in game mode. Apparently, if you start up Piranha Plant in All-Star mode, it can crash your save file, could completely corrupt it.
Yep.
That was recently, and since I've logged back onto Smash Brothers, I think they've come out with a second update, probably like 2.0.1 or whatever.
Right.
That might be patched out. Don't quote me on that. Do your own research there, because I'm too lazy to do mine.
Yeah,
so.
I'm just gonna avoid All-Star mode.
Sure, yeah, I don't mess with it that much anyway.
Until there's an update for sure that they come out with that says, okay, this is 100% gets this bug out of here. Even though I have everything backed up on cloud saves, but
sure. Isn't it strange to you that by the time the sixth Smash Brothers DLC character comes out, we're gonna be on like version 7 by this logic, I guess. I guess. That's a little weird to me that we're measuring versions of Smash Brothers by the characters that come out.
Yeah, no, I'll be interested to see if they do actually do those like full interval updates for each character. But yeah, hopefully we'll find out another new character or find out a release date, see some Joker gameplay.
I need them to tell me when my main is coming to the game. Right? Why hold it out on me?
Right.
Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie, yeah.
Yeah, that's your main.
Minecraft Steve.
Minecraft
Steve. And,
we both said it at the same time. That was great.
But specifically in a Master Chief skin.
Oh, yes. That's 100%. I mean...
Weeks ago, it was in the leaks, it was said that Minecraft Steve is one of the characters, and he does have a Master Chief skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, that would...
I wrote an article on that leak.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite leak.
Hey, unless if we get our Half-Life 4 / announcement, I will not be. I'm sorry.
All right, so heading from updates to tournaments for Smash Bros. We've got Genesis 6, and we have yesterday I should say actually we had the North America Open, which was an online tournament that they held, and
I'm sure that went well.
Yeah, all the finalists will go to PAX East to compete in a tournament there. I actually thought it was supposed to be at 11 o'clock Central Time, so I missed my time. It was 11 Pacific, and it was 11 Central. So yeah, that was sad. But there are 2 more weekends where they'll have it going on with new tournaments, so still might be able to make it to PAX East.
You got your shot.
It's not gonna
Don't blow
it. But yeah, and then Genesis 6 is just pretty much the biggest Smash Bros. Only tournament out there. and I say Smash Bros. Only, but they have a couple other games like or not Smash, but Rivals of Aether and oddly enough, Windjammers. Have either of you ever played Windjammers?
Nope.
No, I haven't.
Okay. So I've never played it myself either, but there's this one YouTuber, Spawnwave Media, who I subscribe to.
Right.
And he was like obsessed with Windjammers for some reason. And apparently there's actually a competitive scene for that game, but it's like you're throwing frisbees at each other and trying to throw it into a goal behind the other person.
I've heard of it. I have heard of it. I haven't played it.
Yeah, and there are these walls that you can bounce the disc off of, and I can definitely see how it would become competitive pretty quickly. But yeah, they have it on Switch. I think it originally came out on, I can't remember actually. I think it might have been like Super Nintendo or Genesis or something. One of the older like 16-bit consoles.
So they did it. They're playing a Genesis game at Genesis.
Absolutely. But yeah, so right now, Super Smash Bros. 64 Top 6 is going on. Then after that, they've got Melee Top 8 and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Top 8.
Do they so they don't have any for Smash 4 or Brawl?
No.
No.
Oh,
their
dang, man.
competitive scenes were very short-lived.
Yeah. They I'd have to assume
Smash
they
4
didn't have enough entrants.
Smash 4's competitive scene, which I followed loosely, kind of went down in a ball of fire at last year's Evo. Which
that was kind of sad actually.
It was a little bit.
But yeah, it seems like mostly because like the Brawl scene, it pretty much turned into the Smash 4 scene, and then the Smash 4 scene is pretty much turned into a mix of the Ultimate scene, the Ultimate scene has turned into a mix of the Smash 4 scene and the Melee scene.
Now, I want to know, I'm not a big esports guy, even with Smash Brothers, which is one of my favorite games ever. But I know enough about Melee, and I've been hearing enough about Melee to hear that it's been hearing some hard times recently with people that wanted to move over into Ultimate, and then we're finally getting tired of Melee. Melee is about, 14 years old at this point? 15. Nearly 15 years old at this point. How much longer do you think that competitive scene is going to last? You think it's...
As long as the people who play it are playing it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that
I think...
How long
will that be? Ultimate is going to kill it. I think it will stay. It might appear at less tournaments slowly.
Well, I don't think any Smash Brothers game is going to kill it.
No.
Yeah.
But...
Melee is...
Ultimately, the only thing that can kill Melee competitive is Nintendo.
Time itself.
Or I guess, time itself as well.
Yeah, time itself.
I don't know if Nintendo can either, because I think many professional Smash Melee players have gone on record to say that they don't need Nintendo at this point, because, I mean,
and
GameCube...
there's that whole copy pasta about how the Melee community isn't a part of the Smash Bros. Community. If you've ever seen that. It's... Yeah,
no, I haven't seen it.
That sounds like an accurate statement. It's a joke, but
yeah, I don't know. It's do you I want to know, do you think Melee will be on the Evo main stage this year?
Yes.
It will. Okay.
Yeah.
Shoot. I kind of want to see that game die at this point. I'll be honest with you.
Nope.
Never gonna die.
Never.
Not until all of his fans are dead.
If Evo didn't have it, I'm sure they would have some major that same weekend to replace it with Melee, and they would run it at the exact same times, and it would still get its viewers.
Man, that's going to be like I wouldn't say my generation, but the generation before mine's legacy is we're all going to be sitting in retirement home someday playing World of Warcraft, Super Smash Brothers Melee, and dabbing. That's what...
Don't forget flossing.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's the generation after us, who knows?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I think that is that's like the people who are like maybe 10 or so right now. But anyway, it's retirement homes are gonna be very fun 60 years from now.
Oh man, I can't wait.
Me neither. It's gonna be great.
But that's such a long time, such a long time away.
Think about all the Animal Crossings you can get in that time.
Oh my gosh, man, it's gonna be great.
You're gonna get so many Animal Crossing games.
So many thousands of
You
hours.
might get at one point. Who knows? You might get a VR Animal Crossing game.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I'm holding out for.
At one point, hey, going on a limb here, we might get Kingdom Hearts 4.
Oh, so you mean like 2074?
That's gonna
Yes.
be the PS7.
Yeah, something like that. PS13. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, so now that Smash Bros is out of the way, we can head to a game that just came out recently, which is Wargroove, and that was recently shown off in the indie highlights video that was released on Nintendo UK's Twitter or YouTube. Sorry. And it's come out to mostly good reviews. Game Informer gave it 9.25, Twinfinite gave it 4.5, IGN 85, and GameSpot gave it 8. Some of the biggest gripes that they had with the game was that you can't fill online matches with bots, and that you actually can't see the enemy's attack range, which is something that I pretty much always have on when I'm playing a strategy game like Wargroove, like Fire Emblem. It's just so I can be like, okay, where am I safe? Where can I move if I kind of want to flank them? I guess it just kind of slows down the gameplay they were saying, just so you could have to actually look at where the enemy can move based upon how many spaces they can move, and then figure it out that way. And it's not really a difference of making the game more casual. It's just really convenience, just because it's not like being able to count is something that's skill based in any way. But some of the better things that they're saying about the game, that it's just like a solid strategy game in the kind of the vein of Fire Emblem and Advance Wars. And then just they were blown away by the amount of creation tools that they had, because besides the regular gameplay, it's a strategy, they also have tools that you can use to create your own maps.
Forge mode.
Yep.
And I think that's kind of the highlight of what makes this game really stand out is the creation mode, kind of a la Super Mario Maker. Because am I wrong in saying I think you can create your own like sets of levels as well, and your own like overworlds between them? From what I saw of the gameplay and trailers,
I think I remember them saying that. Yeah.
Which I think is really, really cool. I wonder how well that works with controller. Because I know Wargroove is going to be on PC, so I would imagine that using the customization controls ought to work better with mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, but from all the reviews that I heard on Switch, everyone was praising the creation, so I'd have to assume it works fine on Switch.
It's grid based. So I would imagine just kind of going from one grid to the next would make a lot of sense. I feel kind of guilty talking about this because probably the closest thing I've played in relation to Wargroove is maybe Mario plus Rabbids. Which I enjoyed immensely. So I like tactics games. That one's more of a 3D tactics game.
I've got like nothing near Wargroove that
No Fire Emblem, no Advance Wars.
Haven't played Advance Wars. Haven't played Mario and Rabbids. Haven't played
XCOM.
I played like a level of XCOM, and I was like,
oh dang.
So I don't know. Wargroove looks really cool, and like I want it, but I don't know if it's good for someone so unfamiliar with the type of games, and I see it at that $20 mark, and I'm like, not sure if I want to go out on a limb and grab this, not knowing if I'll actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I hope it does well, because I love Chucklefish, their publisher. You know, they published Stardew Valley for the Switch, and you know, both of those games have been in the top 5 of the eShop for a while now. Stardew's been doing good. Love that game.
Yeah.
Want them to do good.
Yeah, I was thinking about it's interesting you mentioned that, because I was thinking about picking up Stardew recently.
It's one of my favorite games. It's my girlfriend's favorite game ever. She plays it constantly. It's such a good game, and it's still getting free content and free support to this day.
Nice. Stardew Valley is in the vein of many of those kind of simulation games where if you can get past the first 5 or 10 hours and you really get into a groove and you really start getting the hang of the systems and everything.
It's
really,
it's very inspired by
incredible.
Harvest Moon, but it's better than any Harvest Moon or Story of Seasons game that I've ever played. I love Stardew Valley.
It just takes 10 or 5 hours to get into, and then you'll be fine.
And
then you'll find out if you like it.
Okay, well, all right.
I probably played it for 10 hours straight the first time I played it.
Wow.
Nice.
Well, I mean, you compare that to like Red Dead Redemption 2, and I would say,
Yeah,
okay, you can
jeez.
play that, 30 or 40 hours, and then you're gonna really start. And I would be accurate, but
Yeah, I'll
compared to
definitely
that-
give it a shot though.
Yeah,
Sure.
no, it's very good. And the developer, he put Stardew Valley's development for new content on the back burner to work on a new game set in the same universe about a wizard school.
Ooh,
But
that
he's now
sounds
put
great.
the new game on a back burner to continue Stardew.
Guys, he's the
Wow.
director for the Harry Potter RPG. It's simple, easy. Harry
He's
Potter and
doing that.
Stardew Valley are in the same universe. Holy cow! What is the fandom gonna think about this? What are the Muggles gonna think about this?
But yeah, he's doing that while he's trying to create 2 separate dev teams so that he can work on both Stardew and the new game at the same time. So Stardew isn't neglected because it's probably has a lot of fans. Like I said, I have like 300.
Good night. Wow.
So I think it is important for me to mention that none of us have. I think you could probably infer this that none of us have played Wargroove yet, but I figured it was still important to mention it just because it did review so well, and I was last week I was kind of like, yeah, I'm not sure where Nintendo is going with the indie games that they're getting on Switch right now, just because the last 2 that released the bigger ones with Travis Strikes Again and Y2K didn't receive great critical response. But yeah, Wargroove definitely.
I think we're picking up again.
seems-
I think we're
yeah.
picking up
Everything
again.
will be right
Seems better.
once Shovel Knight King of Cards release.
Oh my god.
Everything will be good.
I forgot that's coming out this year.
I'm still
Yeah,
waiting
and
for
Shovel
my
Knight
amiibo.
Showdown.
Yeah.
Shovel Knight Showdown. We're getting both.
How did I forget about that? Oh
I'm so
jeez.
excited.
And I'm getting it for free.
And Untitled Goose Game. And there's Untitled Goose Game.
And there's
Everything
Inmost.
in the entire world will be okay once you can run around and you can piss people off as a goose.
There
I'm
you
looking
go.
forward to Inmost and Crosscode. Those both look really, really fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Omar, what were you thinking? Of course the indie scene is going to be great this year. It's going to be amazing.
I first thought of the topic when after Y2K and Travis Strikes Again came back, or came out, I should say. And,
I thought you were saying that you thought about the topic during Y2K.
I
Man.
didn't realize it was called
But-
like. I thought it was called
but that was before.
Yeek.
That was before.
Yeek.
Yes. This was before though before the indie highlights video came out as well. So
Yeah, but
I
we
didn't
knew
That's a
know
long
what was
time.
coming.
one of
but
the
we
most
knew about
important
Shovel
indie
Knight.
games of
Yeah.
all time is getting more content this year. That's important.
I did
That's
forget
Always
about
content.
that one.
I love that team so much. I really want Yacht Club Games. I really want them to move on and do something new.
Yeah,
'cause-
this is
Yeah.
supposed to be the end of Shovel Knight.
Yeah,
This-
it should
we
be.
aren't doing any more new Shovel Knight. And
I
I
want
was
them to
like,
work with
are you sure
Nintendo.
you're not gonna then release Shovel Knight Treasure Trove 2?
That
'Cause
would be.
I would be okay with that.
Me too.
The real
Me
question
too.
is though, are you guys getting those amiibo?
Oh man.
You just cut out. I didn't hear you.
Are we getting the amiibo for Shovel Knight?
Yeah, I'm getting the amiibo. I'm
Nice.
ordering the one that's already out. I'm buying a physical copy of it, even though I already own it digitally on the Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch. I love Shovel Knight.
I like it a lot
Awesome.
too. I have it on Wii and Switch. Okay, what's the best campaign? What's the best campaign? The original, Plague Knights, or Spectre Knights?
Spectre Knights. My favorite is Spectre Knights. It was probably the most emotional for me because the ending in it made me sad and it made me really love Spectre. And I was like, this is because he sacrifices
good.
himself and stuff. And I'm just like, this is.
Gameplay in that one is solid too.
Yeah,
like
it's
it's
just fun.
totally different than the original Shovel Knight.
I might have to go back
But
to
I
that.
know
I
all-
only ever played the just the
First
main
one?
story with Shovel Knight. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Plague Knight and Spectre Knight are
Plague
both
Knight,
both solid.
Really good.
Yeah,
Solid.
I did play a little bit of Plague Knight. And I really liked the movement in that one,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, Spectre Knight is better.
couldn't
To
stay.
be frank.
Spectre Knight's my favorite, but King of Cards looks like it's gonna be like the other 3 were kind of more serious stories. All of them, were kind of dramatic and
Okay.
emotional. And it looks like King of Cards is gonna be
Over the
more-
top, yeah.
It's gonna be humorous. I think it's gonna be a little over the top. It's this King Knight who's gonna go and he's got to kill the other 4 kings so that he become the one king.
Except
it's
he's just like he's a goofy king.
Yeah,
He's
he's
just like
goofy king.
imagine like Monty
Big fat
Python.
Knight king that-
I imagine this being 16-bit Monty Python. That's pretty much what this is.
Yeah,
gonna end up.
like it's
Nice.
gonna be a good lighthearted note for Shovel Knight to end on, and
Absolutely.
I'm excited for that.
Me too.
I love Shovel Knight.
I'm sorry we turned a discussion about Wargroove into Shovel Knight, but I love Shovel Knight.
I'm not sorry.
It just turned into
no
a
other comments
general indie.
I'm also
discussion.
sorry that I brought up Rockstar earlier on a Nintendo podcast because that's a
No, that's-
forbidden word around these parts.
No, it isn't.
Red
LA
Dead
Noir
2
came
out
confirmed
on
for
Switch.
Nintendo Switch.
I reviewed
For
LA
Nintendo
Noir on
Switch.
Switch.
That's
Yeah, I was
true.
supposed to say it is on the Switch.
If you want to play a good detective game, just return.
It got a
pick up,
price cut
Batman.
recently too.
No, if you want a good detective game, ignore LA Noir. Turn it. I'm sorry.
No,
Or
LA
you can
Noir is good.
ignore the detective games and get Shovel Knight.
There you go.
Yeah,
'Cause
that
you're
too.
gonna get 5 games, right, for less than the price of one. So.
And buy the amiibo, even though I have
You know
no
what's-
idea what
and
they're
buy
gonna
the-
do.
Screw it all. Just buy Super Metroid on every platform that's available for, and then
Yeah.
hack it onto your Switch. Okay.
Go for it.
Where did this conversation go again?
It went
Indie
from
games.
Wargroove to us admitting none of us have played Wargroove to everywhere but Wargroove. We went so far away from Wargroove, we're now talking about Rockstar. It's gone everywhere. It doesn't matter.
All right. So the real question, guys, when does GTA 5 come to the Switch?
Honestly, I could see that happening. I don't know why it's not
been
there yet.
rumored for a while to happen.
I don't know why it's not yet. It's a 2013 game, 6-year-old game at this point. Switch could totally handle it. If it could take LA Noire and Skyrim and friggin' Dark Souls, and Doom, it could take
Yeah,
GTA
Doom,
5.
It can take Diablo 3. It can take Dragon's Dogma. Like,
Yeah. There's no reason Grand Theft Auto 5 shouldn't be on there.
Yeah. And now that we've reached the end of our Nintendo knowledge, we'll say goodbye. Ethan,
Oh,
where can everyone
okay.
find you?
I am at Linkachuchu, LINKACHUCHU on Twitter. You can find me over there, mostly retweeting other people's contents about dumb Smash Brothers related stuff and how people shouldn't be upset about Metroid Prime 4 being delayed. So
Yeah, come on, guys.
and then I'm on Twitter at Mike Zoke, MikeSzoke, and I'm
a weird name.
pretty much just tweeting my thoughts on games I'm playing all the time. If you want to watch me tear apart the first Uncharted because it's a bad game, you can find me doing that. There.
whoa.
It's a really bad game.
He's right. He's right. There was a podcast I was listening to where they were talking about, I think it was Kind of Funny Games Daily. They were talking about how the jump from PS4 to PS5 graphically probably won't be huge.
Yeah.
They're like kind of like the jump from PS3 to PS4. And like instantly in my head I was like, go back and play Uncharted 1. and
Uncharted 1, I can't
you'll see the
believe
difference.
by the makers of Crash Bandicoot that such horrible platforming is in that game. The camera angles in that game make it nearly unplayable. There's like 4 gunfights in the entire thing, and the rest of it you're climbing up walls and driving jet skis for some reason. The jet skis are horrible. It's a bad game.
Speaking of
bad
Nintendo,
game.
Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy on Switch.
Yeah, there we go. I tied it in.
All right.
I don't know.
so-
Real quick.
Okay.
I don't know. If you go back and you look at like Uncharted 3 and Last of Us, like I think those were on PS3 and those still hold up pretty well. And they look
those,
pretty
yeah,
similar
that's
to
that's
before.
true. That's true.
Yeah,
Towards the end
but
of the
guess
life
what?
cycle.
There's
What?
still The Last of Us Remastered, which is better, and I'll play that version instead of the PS3 version.
That,
All right,
whatever.
and you can find me on Twitter at OBBANAT. If you want to find anything else that has to do with culture of gaming, you can find us on cultureofgaming.com. You can find Facebook and Twitter as well. Facebook and Twitter are both cog.net, and then YouTube and Twitch are both Culture of Gaming. And that's all we have for this week. So we made
Absolutely.
it through. I'm not dead.
Yet.
So I
Yes.
say that's a successful podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us, everyone out there in the world, and you, Ethan, and you, Mike, as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll see you all next week. Have a happy Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah. Have a happy Sunday. Put Super Metroid on everything.
See ya.